Hi again, boys and girls. Mrs. Davis with another parable to tell you today. This is called a parable of the Tennants. And I will start this parable. Jesus told this parable about a man who planted a vineyard. He also built a lookout tower to watch and protect his vineyard from robbers. Later, the owner of the vineyard rented his vineyard out to farmers who agreed to pay rent by returning part of the fruit. Well, after the arrangements were all made, the owner of the vineyard went away to a far country. Time passed and the grapes grew round and fat. They were now ready to be picked. The owner of the vineyard had been away a long time, and the farmer began to think of the vineyard as his vineyard. But while the farmers were gathering the ripened grapes, they saw men coming toward the vineyard. Immediately, they recognized them as the owner's servants who were coming to collect the grapes for their master. But the farmers decided they wanted to keep all the grapes for themselves. So they beat one servant, stoned another, and killed another. The owner of the vineyard, who was in the far country, sent other servants to gather his grapes. But when the farmers saw these servants coming to the vineyard, they beat and killed them also. So the owner of the vineyard decided to send his own son, the one who would one day inherit his father's vineyard. The owner expected the farmer to surely respect his son. Well, the farmers reasoned that if they killed the son, the vineyard would certainly be theirs. So seizing the son, the wicked men dragged the owner's son and cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Well, in this parable, boys and girls, God is the owner of the vineyard and the servants were the prophets that God sent to his Jewish people. The wicked farmers were the scribes and Pharisees. That was the religious leaders of Israel. And the owner's son is Jesus. And as the wicked farmers killed the son, so the scribes and Pharisees killed Jesus, the very Son of God. And I have an application story for you today, and this one is a jot story. In the parable of the tenants forgot what jobs they were supposed to be doing. They were to be the servants to the landowners, but they thought they were above that job. Well, now we're going to see our friend Jot as he learns that same lesson. Jot and his friend Max were arguing with each other about who was the greatest. They spoke to a grown-up who was close by and asked him to decide which of the two boys was the greatest. Both boys began showing the grown-up that they were the greatest by reciting information they knew. Well, Jot could name all the planets in the solar system in order of their distance from the sun. Max said that he could name all the states in ABC order. Then Jot said that he would prove that he's the greatest by doing 100 jumping jacks. Max said he would prove that he is the greatest by doing 500 toe touches. Both boys began doing exercises as fast as they could until they finally collapsed on the floor from being exhausted. Just then, a little girl from the neighborhood came by with 2 paper cups of lemonade. She had been selling lemonade down the street and noticed the boys exercising. She thought they would be very thirsty, so she brought them a drink. As soon as she left, the grown-up said that he finally knew who was the greatest. He said that it was the neighborhood girl. Well, Jot and Max couldn't believe it. She hadn't named the states in order or done any push-ups. Well, they were confused. The grown-up reminded the boys that Jesus said, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." Jot realized that being the greatest meant being the best at helping other people. Jot and Max decided to stop arguing and start trying to be the best at serving other people. I know all of you really like Jot, and so I hope you like that Jot story. One last thing today, and that is another song from Mary Rice Hopkins. This song is called You're Gonna Grow, and it's really about a fig tree, because even though Jesus told the parable about Tennants and the vineyard, he also had told a story about a fig tree that had withered. And so this song is more about that.
Doesn't bear any fruit or leaves. Should I cut it down or let it grow? My caretaker says wait and you'll know. Give it care, give it time. Wait a year, then you will find what kind of fruit is on your tree. What kind of love do you see? You're gonna grow, 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 you're gonna grow. God says we're just like a tree, but He waits patiently. He says I won't let you go. Show my love and others will know. Read my word and give you time. By your love they'll see that you're mine. By the fruit that you bear, what kind of love do you share? You're gonna grow, 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 you're gonna grow. The fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace and love. The fruit of the Spirit is sent straight from above. You're gonna grow, 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 you're gonna grow.
I hope you enjoy these songs by Mary Rice Hopkins. I really enjoy these, and I do enjoy the parables. We have a few more to go, and then I will be finished with all of Jesus's parables. So until we can meet again, bye-bye.